All right, guys, we just came back from the shop. We had to pick up a processor because the processor is another issue with this. Yes, we're replacing all three items here. The customer does not want to update the system. We gave him the option to update. It was his best option to do, but he's going to get rid of the boat. So we're going to go ahead and remove both actuators and processor here. And once we do that, we'll go ahead and connect it. And then we're going to go into the calibration sequence, which I'll show you how we do that. All right, so Julian has this plate off. This is the easiest way to approach this without disturbing the push-pull cables. But if you look at it, look at all the grease on the bottom of that. Okay, I could guarantee you someone probably tried to put grease in the zerts there, which probably hydrolocked them, and now they're no longer operating the way that they need to. But the easiest way to approach this so that you don't disturb the cables that you can see down there is just remove these Allen screws here, take the start interlock off, which is right here. So we're going to take this bracket off and remove it. The processor is ready to come out. All I have to do is take the power off. But one thing, when you do replace the processor and you go into the calibration mode, you have to verify that the software is compatible with the software that is on the boat. This is 05 software that's installed in this processor, and also the station processors are 05. If you mix them, they will not work. So if you call us, we're going to ask you to identify the software that's underneath this plate, which is 05. And also, when we take off the cover here, it specifies 05 right there. So we're going to go ahead and work this one out. I've already got the processor loose so that this one comes out, and I'm going to go ahead and put the new tested processor back in. And then we're going to end up replacing the two actuators. What do you think about that?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm sorry for the noise. We have the AC compressors working off right above our head, and then also we have a inverter that is overpowering my voice. But as you can see, I got the processor removed, ready to go. I'm just waiting on Twinkle Toes over here to get the actuator done. He's removing the port actuator, and then he's going to remove the starboard actuator. But if you notice, it is bare, okay? And we bring them like that. And then this one is the neutral safety lock. We could actually had cut that, but it's just easier for us to remove this one and put it on ours. And ours will be right here, nice and clean, ready to go. And the other one is back in that area. So while he's trying to figure out how that cable comes out, and now he's asking me for tools, I'll just let you go. I'm gonna go to lunch and come back and see if he's done when I come back. All right, guys, I just came back from an hour lunch, and he's still working on this side. But listen, what they put on this boat are 20-foot cables from the actuator. We're gonna simplify that by giving them 5-foot cables. It's specified right on one of these things here, right here, 505. Okay, these are short 5-foot cables, so it's unnecessary to have right, like I said, those were short 5-foot cables, and it is unnecessary to have 20 feet of cable going and trying to tuck it away. So the other cable went along the bottom, came back up along the top over here and into the processor. So we only got 5-foot harnesses, which is going to go from there to the top and directly right into the processor. A nice short run, and we're going to clean it up. But like I said, this is what happens when you put grease in the wrong location. You can hydrolock these things. So once you hydrolock them, most likely they have to be taken apart and fixed. So now Julian is in the process of putting the starboard side on. We've already got that one done, and we know that that 5-foot cable is not going to be long enough to do it, so we're going to have to come from the bottom and across. So starboard side is on already, and now we're going to end up putting on the port side. He's going to connect the linkage there right now, but we're going to do that after both processes or both actuators are done, and then we're going to go ahead and put the processor on. All right, so we got both port and starboard processors. Well, both port and starboard actuators, I'm sorry. I'm used to the smart actuator ones, which they are processors. They have built-in processors, but we have both port and starboard actuators installed, and we have the shift installed. The only thing that you could see on here is that the throttles are not installed because they need to be in the other position. They need to be all the way in the upward position. So we're going to have to go into the programming of this. This is your dip switches, S1 and S2. So according to the dip switches and which way the shifting is, this is where we're going to move these dip switches, and then we're going to have to program it inside here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the system up and running as a calibration portion. So first we need to tell the processor that we need to either push or pull for forward and push or pull for throttle. And that goes within these parameters right here. All right. As you can see, the dip switch is already preset. Number one is going to actually pull, and the rest are going to all push. Okay, so number one is your shift, your port, and the second one is your starboard shift, and then the third is your throttle. So then we're going to come over into S2. S2 is your control heads and your calibration mode. So we have off and on. That means there's only 2 control heads in there, and number 4 means that we're in calibration mode. So go ahead and turn on the processor. Okay, the system is live. And now we're going to go ahead and push the accept button one time. You're going to see the light indicator change. And now we could go into the throttle calibration by pushing extend and retract. And you could actually see it move. Okay, and if I push retract, you're going to see the lever move. So what we want to do is we want to retract it all the way so that this arm here sits comfortably in its saddle. Then we're going to go ahead and connect the screw, and now we're going to go ahead and extend it. So once you get it into its proper spot, you press accept, and then you go into your extend, and then it's going to push this bar all the way. Once you see it touch this, you hit it, and then it's going to do it one more time. It does it 3 times. All right, guys, so we got the port and starboard actuator calibrated. We got the processor calibrated to the system, and like I said, we had to change the dip switch settings here to either going forward or reverse by moving 1 and 2. That is your shift for port and throttle, port and starboard shift, and number 3 is your throttle. So when the dip switches are in the off position, that means it's going to push it. So if the switch is in the onward position, when you calibrate it, that means it's going to pull the cable. It's going to pull this arm is going to pull it. So we already did the calibration here. And then at the end of once you get everything tested, you put the system into a run mode, you close up the cover, and then you do your test at the dock. All right, guys, and as you can see, we had a couple snags in the line. Yeah, we thought it was the starboard actuator. We brought 2 actuators here, we put them on there, and the system didn't work. We had to come back and we had to regroup. We had to bring another processor. We also informed that the customer it would probably be wise to update the system to something that's more modern. But since he's getting rid of the boat, he just wants the boat just to work right. So we're going to give him the boat back, or we already gave him the boat back in good working order. We've already tested the throttles, forward, neutral, reverse at the dock like 100 times, and everything is working. So the boat could actually go off the dock without having any problems. Like I say, I only could say as far as my repairs of what I've done. If there's a control head that goes bad, or there's a station processor that goes bad, I can't unless I've actually tested it on the bench. But like I say, this is probably 50% of the system right here compared to what we have else on the boat. But this is the direction that the customer wants to go. But like I said, no matter if it's new or used, Seatide has you covered. So, like always, if you have any questions, just let us know in the little comment section below. You know, throw us comments, guys. Ask us any crazy questions. You know, even if we did something wrong, throw it out there. Let us know. But like I say, you guys are a big supporter, and we appreciate you. Like and subscribe.